Hello and welcome to the Daily Mail for Saturday, the 3rd of September 2022. In today's Millwall news,
Baby, that's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
yes, that is what we've all been waiting for. A performance and a result like that, like what we got today at home against Cardiff. This is the match report from millwallfc.co.uk. Duo step off the bench to fire Millwall to victory. Millwall were 2-0 winners over Cardiff City, the Sky Bet Championship at the Den on Saturday afternoon. Charlie Cresswell stepped off the bench to head home the opening goal just after the hour mark, before Benicophobe added the gloss in the final minute of normal time. Gary Rowett opted to keep Zion Fleming and Andreas Vogelsammer in the 11 from Tuesday's last outing at Burnley, with Jamie Shackleton and deadline day loan signing Callum Styles lining up at right wing back and left wing back respectively. Billy Mitchell also came back into the side, whilst Danny McMahon and Cresswell dropped to the bench. The Lions began the game with most of the ball and created the first chance with 5 minutes on the clock, but after new boy Styles and Tom Bradshaw set up Fleming, his curler from outside the box nestled into the arms of Ryan Allsop, one of 3 former Lions in Cardiff's starting lineup, alongside Marlon Romeo and Shea Yojo. At the other end, the Bluebirds' opening opportunity came on 9 minutes but ended with Jadon Philogene blazing over from 20 yards out. There were 14 minutes played with Max Waters crossed the ball for the aforementioned Philogene, but fortunately his header whistled just past Bartosz Białkowski's far post. On 17 minutes there was a chance for the Lions as Styles' ball down the left-hand side sent Bradshaw away. He crossed for Vogelsammer, whose heavy touch took the ball into the path of Fleming, but the attacker curled wide. George Savile's free kick then evaded everyone until it found Sean Hutchinson at the back post, with his return into the box being cleared, with Vogelsammer almost on the end of Styles' cross with 21 minutes on the clock, but after the loney left Romeo on his backside, the German could not convert. Murray, Wallace and Fleming, and then Wallace again, failed to trouble Allsop as the first half rumbled on, with Vogelsammer's shot on the turn forcing the goalkeeper into a save shortly before the half-hour mark. Fleming's smart flick almost set Bradshaw away as Mill's chances continued, but Allsop rushed out to gather. Shackleton's cross was then met by the head of Savile, but the stopper was there once again. It was all Millwall as the final 10 minutes of the first half came into view. Styles the latest strike and an attempt on goal, but it could have been the Bluebirds who could take the lead on 36 minutes. Philogene, however, fired just wide. With 40 minutes on the clock, despite Millwall's dominance, Cardiff came the closest to taking the lead as Ojo struck the post from close range. After a relatively quiet start to the second half, Białkowski's goal was tested on 62 minutes as Cardiff substitute Mark Harris cut inside before bending an effort onto the far post and to safety. Rowett responded by making a treble sub, including introducing Afobe, Tyler Berry and Scott Malone into the fold, and just a minute later the Lions were in front as Cresswell met a corner kick to head down into the ground and into the back of the net for his 3rd goal of the campaign. And Berry's long-range attempt worked also as the final 20 minutes of the afternoon got underway before Fleming's effort was blocked as the Lions went in search of a second. Niels Nkonku's deflected at the other end and then had Białkowski scrambling to tip wide before Perry Ng's header was directed straight at the goalkeeper on 84 minutes. The impressive Fleming left the field to a standing ovation with a minute to play. He was replaced by George Honeyman, but there was still time for the Lions to grab the second as the Afobe caught Cardiff defence napping to nip in and strike into the roof of the net for his first goal of the season. Harris had the ball in the net for the Bluebirds in 5 minutes of stoppage time, but referee Jeremy Simpson ruled the goal out for a foul in the build-up. And the team today was Białkowski, Wallace, Cooper, Hutchison, Mitchell, Styles, Shackleton, Savile, Fleming, Bradshaw, Vogelsammer. 5 subs. You used all the subs. The unused subs were Long and McNamara. The used subs were Cresswell, 48 minutes for Hutchinson. Hutchinson got injured. More on that later. Malone, 62 minutes for Savile. Honeyman, 89 minutes for Fleming. Bury 62 minutes for Bradshaw, and Afobe 62 minutes for Vogelsammer. And yeah, like they say, so we had everyone was saying why Shackleton in the middle wasn't working. He wants to play in the middle, but he's better on the right. So he played him on the right, and what happened? He's quick. He's a quick lad. He bombed down the wing, and he got a number of crosses in. The one they mentioned there in that match ball, he got to the byline, dinged it back towards the D, and Saville and Bradshaw got in each other's way. But yeah, and on the other side, Styles, absolutely amazing. But more on that later as well. So interesting stuff. And Afobe, the thing with Afobe, so the goal today, he basically made it out of thin air on his own, and it kind of reminds me, was it Gregory or Morrison back in the day? They would have chances set laid up for them. All they had to do was get on the end of it and tap it in. One of them, I can't remember who it was, but this became like a thing. We put chances would be laid up for them, and they would always miss it or hit it straight at the keeper. But then later on in the game, like they would have about 3 of these chances, but then they would have like a nothing chance. They would fight and scrap and get away from the defender and do a little thing and smash it into the net. I think maybe it was Morrison, but so Afobe this season's kind of reminding me of that. Like the chances that are falling to him, he's just not reacting quickly enough. But when he makes it himself, it's game on. He can do that. So we've got bookings here. Styles and Wallace are booked. Crowd of only 13,016. So maybe the recent results kind of put maybe 1,000 people off going to that game. Was down from the 14,500 from the games earlier in the season. So let's go to this match report from newsden.co.uk and see their takeaways. Cresswell and corners, a match made in heaven. Cresswell probably didn't expect to be on the pitch today. He was named as a substitute but had to come on early in the second half when Hutchinson pulled up through injury. Less than 20 minutes later, he found himself wheeling away in celebration in front of Coldwell Lane End after scoring his third goal of the season. The Leeds loanee is a monster from corners, which we saw throughout the 2-0 win against Stoke City on the opening day. He's Millwall's top scorer after 8 games. Indeed, he's Millwall's top scorer after 8 games with 3 goals. Who gave him the corner? Who took the corner? Malone. Malone took the corner that he scored from. And Malone now has 3 assists. So that's what Malone can do for you. But in terms of like playing, getting up and down the pitch, maybe pace. I think Malone's going to be like 32 this year. He's still got the technical ability, but has he got the engine? Is his body up for it still? Is his body intact? I don't know, but he's still got the eye for pass. A new partnership starting to blossom. Millwall struggled to create chances in the first half of the game, but they looked a completely different team to their recent performances. The Lions attacked from the very start, and while they often looked to play long balls towards Bradshaw, both Fleming and Vogelsammer offered something else as they flanked the Welsh striker. They're two very technical players, and while playing together on either side of a central striker, they can give her outside something else in the final third. Styles also had an impressive debut, providing a constant threat down the left side while keeping Ojo quiet throughout his time on the pitch. Indeed, a younger, faster player. Who knew? Who knew? Styles on the left and Shackleton on the right. And however good Danny McNamara is, Shackleton is definitely more attacking than Danny Mac. And maybe it might be the situation where, in terms of home games, we play Shackleton on the right, and when it's an away game, we play McNamara. Or we might start with McNamara in away games, and then if we're losing or drawing and we want to have a go late on, we put Shackleton on the right and go forward for it. Or we start him and then bring Danny Mac on to close it out. I don't know. That's obviously down to Gary Rout to game manage that. Rocking all over the world. There's no song that Millwall supporters would rather hear after a torrid few weeks. The Lions ended their winless run in style, playing a refreshing brand of attacking football while keeping Cardiff at bay throughout the match. The victory should do Routsmen the world of good, particularly a phobia who really needed to find the back of the net after a string of poor performances. Indeed, but while we're sniffing our own farts and thinking it's perfume, I will just say, bringing everyone back down to earth, however good we did play today, Cardiff were very unlucky, or we were very lucky. They hit the post twice. If those have gone in, we could have lost that game. It would have been a totally different situation. And we were very, very lucky about where on the post that ball hit and who it came back out to. It could have been very, very different. So let's start hearing from the managers now. This is from Gary Rowett, News at Den. Normal service resumed as Millwall bounced back. Gary Rowett says that normal service has resumed for Millwall at the Den after securing a 2-0 win against Cardiff City. The Lions' 100% home record was ending by Reading last weekend as Naby Sarr's early goal saw the Royals run out 1-0 winners in SE16. It extended their total winless run to 4 games after drawing away at Swansea City and losing on the road against Norwich City and Burnley. However, Saturday's victory against the Bluebirds sets Millwall up for the rest of September, where they'll face 3 matches at the Den and just 1 away from South Bermondsey. It was normal service resumed at home, I think, Barrett said after the match. Our home form has been excellent. Against Reading was a little bit of a blip. I still think that game really should have been a drawn game. I actually thought that we performed reasonably well in parts of it. I felt today I just wanted us to show a little bit of composure and a little more bravery on the ball, and I thought that we did. We changed it slightly. I decided to change the wing backs and put Callum straight in and put Shax to right wing back. I've seen him do it a lot of Leeds and it's a really good outlet for his energy. I thought both of them were fantastic today. Some of their link play, some of their movement down the sides of the pitch caused Cardiff a lot of problems. They worked very hard, Cardiff, 4-3-3. They pressed really well. They showed a bit of energy. They're quite a young, mobile team, but I thought we actually played around it really well and handled the ball. For me, it's not easy to do that when you're on the back of 3 defeats, so it's probably one of the most pleasing things. I thought in the first half we were the better side. I thought we controlled the game, and it was just really whether we could go and get that goal. That was coming. We just had to stay patient. And while we're here, let's just look at the table. We are 13th now. 10 points from 8 games, minus 2 goal difference. And we are above West Brom. More from Gary Rowett, this time from London News and Line.co.uk. Millwall boss gives verdict on Callum Styles and reveals where he sees him, nailing down a regular starting spot. Gary Rowett reckons that Callum Styles' long-term future at Millwall lies in a central midfield role. The deadline day signing from Barnsley started at left wing back in today's 2-0 victory over Cardiff. Styles then switched to midfield after a triple substitution by Lions boss Rowett saw Scott Malone come on and play in his natural position. Styles, was here Thursday and didn't leave until about 1 o'clock in the morning, said Rowett. He wouldn't have been at his freshest. I just felt let's chuck him in and see. He's got that quality at left wing back. He's got that quality in the middle. I think he'll end up in the middle. It's his best position and where he wants to play the most. It's like Shax. He wants to play in there as well, but sometimes if you've got that energy and quality, it's hard not to see that being a really important tool out wide for us and get up and down the pitch. But they certainly gave us a bit more attacking impetus down the flanks today. Indeed. So why are you saying you're going to take that away? It worked. They're fast. They're bombing down the wing. And he's saying, well, no, I can't. We're not going to. We're going to stop doing that because that was too successful. No, what he's saying, what you got to realize, what he's saying here is he needs to say this. Why does he need to say this? Because Callum Styles' day was an absolute revelation. It's everything we wanted and more from Scott Malone, and what we've been missing on that left-hand side. But Scott Malone is a long-term Millwall player. He has a relationship with Gary Rowett, going back many years, back to Derby County. He can't just throw Scott Malone on the scrap heap and say, well, Scott Malone's starting position is now on the bench over there. No, he can't say that. So he has to say, well, you know, Callum Styles, is he our new left wing back? Well, not really. No, he has to do that. Because here's the thing, like I said, Scott Malone came on, took the corner, they got the first goal. So there's still something there with Scott Malone. But in terms of running up and down the wing, maybe it's not that. Maybe Scott Malone should play in the middle. I don't know. But he has to say this about Styles, and he has to say that about Shackleton as well. But when you're playing two in the middle, it doesn't really work with Shackleton, is it? It's not. It wasn't working, and what you can see when we brought Billy Mitchell in, moved Shackleton out to the right, but then Danny Mack misses out. So, like I said, Danny Mack's probably a better defender than Shackleton. So when we have the game that we have to defend, play Danny Mack. When we have a game where we want to attack, play Shackleton. No, it's not that hard, is it? It's not that hard. So, but we'll have to see. Because Gary Rowett, I hope he's just saying this to placate Scott Malone's ego and some of the other players, like Danny Mack, and calming them down. Because if after seeing what we saw today, if he genuinely believes, oh well, Styles and Shackleton should be playing in the middle, he definitely needs his head checked. More now. This is also from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. Benicophobe underlines why he so often spearheaded the Millwall attack. Gary Rowett felt Benicophobe underlined why such a regular star in his Millwall side after scoring today's 2-0 win over Cardiff City. The forward, who finished with 13 goals in all competitions last season, had been taken out of the starting lineup for Tuesday's 2-0 defeat of Burnley and the visit of Bluebirds this weekend. But Phoebe came on and showed fine composure to open his account for the season in the 90th minute. The former Arsenal, Stoke and Wolves frontman is the first striker to score for outside in the 22-23 campaign. Yes, I just want us to win games. How we win games, I do not care, said Rat. I believe our strikers will score goals and get on the end of things. Benneker's got that star quality when he gets in and around the goal. That's why he usually starts most of the games for us. He did the same last year, started a little bit slowly. Today he came on with a bit between his teeth. He won headers, held the ball up for us. He looked like the real number 9 you want to see. When he gets into those areas, he's got that little bit of ability to beat people and dink it over the oncoming defender and keeper. It was a great finish. We had lots of good attacking play today. That's probably the best we've attacked. We had a lot of shots on target. I'm actually a bit disappointed we've only scored 2 goals. Yeah, more on that in tomorrow's video in the stats section. Any striker wants to score goals and plays with a little bit less weight on their shoulders when they score as part of the course. He's a really confident lad anyway. I don't think he ever doubts himself and always shows his belief. He's been doing it for years now. I've certainly got massive belief in him as a character and a player, but you need to translate into goals. Any striker wants to get goals, and now Vogie needs to get on the score sheet. He's been doing really well. Zion will get on the score sheet at some point. Bradderton, Tyler, we've got good options. Indeed. So Benicophobe being bigged up by Gary Rowett there. Yeah, maybe it's helped Benicophobe to come off the bench to face the tired legs of the Cardiff City players. Maybe that's benefited him there. Because he did kind of dribble and outmuscle the defender and score the goal like that. So yeah, good for Benicophobe. First striker to score a goal. Hopefully, many more to come. So what happened to Sean Hutchinson? Well, let's find out. This is also from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. He felt a pop. Millwall boss Gary Rowett on Sean Hutchinson's injury setback. Garrett could not confirm the extent of Sean Hutch's injury after Millwall's 2-0 win over Cardiff City at the Den today. The line skipper was forced off just 2 minutes into the second half. He felt a pop in his groin, said Rowett. I don't know at this point what it is, but that's what he felt. He tried to carry on, but he couldn't. I'm not sure how bad it is. Hutchinson's replacement, Charlie Cresswell, opened scoring for the Lions when he headed in fellow substitute Scott Malone's corner for the third goal of the season. Asked about what impact the substitutes had in the game, Benicophobia adding the second in the 90th minute. Rowett said, I felt they maintained the energy in the game. That was important to us. When you are the away team like we saw at Burnley, you've got to get around to 60 minutes, and if you're still in the game, you get to build that confidence, and sometimes the home team just start to fatigue, and that's where the changes can impact it. At that point, we felt we just needed a bit of freshness to keep the momentum going and keep us moving forward. Rowett changed both wing-backs from the 2-0 defeat at Burnley on Tuesday. Barnsley loanee Callum Stiles started at left wing-back while Jamie Shackleton replaced Danny McNamara on the right. The changes worked really well today, said the Mill manager. It's very difficult for a player to start every game because we have good options. What's nice is they've come off. We scored 1 goal from the substitute last season. This season we've got 3. It just shows how good it is to have those options. We only scored 1 goal from a substitution last season. The whole of last season. Only 1 substitute came on and scored. Is that true? That sounds like it's really shit, no? This season, so far, we've got 3. It just shows how good it is to have those options. Does he mean at the same time? Like after 8 games? Or like literally the whole season we only scored 1 goal from 1 substitution? That is a bit of a weird stat wankery. It was a 3rd win out of 4 home games for Millwall, who have been so strong on their home patch for the whole of 2022. Our home form has been good, said Rao. We've had really tough away games, playing the top 3 away from home. I don't think many teams will get much out of those games. What we have to do now is to use that confidence and see if we can repeat something like that performance. It's important we keep winning at home. Winning at home makes away performances not as crucial. Losing at home to Reading meant then going to Burnley feeling like there's a bit more pressure on the game. It settles us down a bit to hopefully kick on. Indeed. And let's hear from the other side now. Mr. Steve Morrison, Cardiff City boss. As at the time of the recording, there is some talk that he might be getting a tin tag, but he is the cheap option, so I don't know where they're going to go after they go get rid of him. But he hasn't won in 5 games now. Cardiff City boss Morrison refuses to focus on Marlon Romeo's reception after 2-0 defeat to Millwall. Cardiff manager Steve Morrison refused to talk in detail about the reception Marlon Romeo received on his return to the Den. The right back headed back to SC16 today for the first time since quitting the Lions in the summer. Romeo was booed throughout the match and reacted angrily at the full-time whistle, shouting towards the home support as he was ushered off the pitch by City officials. The defender was booked for a late lunge on Millwall debutant Callum Stiles and looked fortunate not to receive a yellow for a similar missed-time tackle on the same player in the opening minutes. Substitutes Benicophobia and Charlie Cresswell scored Mills. Yeah, we know about that. Former Lions striker Morrison asked how Romeo was feeling, said, "It's life. You have to deal with it. Get on with it. It's not nice, and it's a lot easier to do it when they are winning the game. He doesn't have to worry about it now. Let's not concentrate on Marlon. I'm not going to answer it. The focus on the press conference of Millwall beat Cardiff 2-0. I haven't seen it, Romeo's reaction. He handled it amazingly from the first minute until the end. It shouldn't be the focus of this conversation. We should be purely talking about football." Millwall boss Gary Rowett asked about the ferocity of Romeo's reception, said, "You want to listen to it when I go back to Stoke, it's pretty ferocious there. It happens when you go back to clubs. What I will say is Marlon is a real good lad and a really popular player for us. He played a lot of games for Millwall and is a really good servant. That's all I can say. When you come back, you know it's probably not going to be a nice reception. I'm not condoning that. It's football. It is what it is. He handled it really well. It probably felt like an afternoon where he needed to show that character, and he did. Really, the focus for me is on our performance. Morrison has brought his Cardiff side to the Den twice since being appointed boss, and lost both of them. The second goal was the most disappointing out of all of them, he said. It's a disappointing second goal, but we just gave them the icing on the cake when we could have gone down the other end and still got one right at death. We're not best pleased, but we can't do anything about it now. If one of those goals in, the shot near the post, exactly. Very lucky, we were very lucky. Then it's a different game, so it was a set piece that changed the course of the game. They're the best in the league at set plays. It's always going to be a tough ask, but we dealt with it on the whole pretty well. They score the goal and it changes the course of the game. It was tough to come back, and we haven't managed to do that yet, going one behind, and we need to be better at it. Let's not focus on the set plays. That's not because we have to defend them. We have to do better, and we always knew it was going to be tough today with those situations. There were chances for both sides. They had a couple of moments first half. We had a couple second half. We hit the post and then go down the other end and score. And it's a game of fine margins. Fine margins. Every game at 0-0, you're in it and you have an opportunity. At 1-0, you're still in it and have an opportunity. There you go. Wise words from Steve Morrison. So yeah, very good performance today. Hopefully Rowett's starting to get it, although he's making statements that seem to suggest he doesn't. But hopefully, the only reason he's saying that is because he's trying to placate the long-standing players that he has friendships with, that he doesn't want them to put their noses out of joint. But we're going to finish out the video with another one of these.
Yeah, baby! That's why they win.
Indeed. Thank you for watching.